Have you ever wondered how a country can be a total paradise for food lovers and still have one of the lowest obesity rates on the entire planet? Well, today we're going to skip the fad diets and pull back the curtain on a culture that is fundamentally designed for health. So, what's the secret? I mean, how does a country famous for incredible ramen, crispy tempura, and yes, lots and lots of rice manage to stay so lean? The answer isn't some simple diet plan you can just download. It's way deeper than that. It's a whole system. Okay, let's start with a number. And this number is really at the heart of the whole story. 4.6%. That is the official obesity rate in Japan. I mean, in a world where so many countries are struggling with this, a number that low, it's kind of hard to believe, right? And to really get how wild that number is, just look at this chart. It puts everything in perspective. Japan's rate isn't just a little bit lower. Nope. It is less than a quarter of the average for the 38 wealthiest nations. That's not just an outlier, that's kind of off the charts. And that brings us to this quote, which really just nails it. See, it's not about everyone having superhuman willpower or eating some secret magic food. It's about the entire system, the very fabric of daily life being designed to keep you healthy. Okay, so let's dive into it. Where does this whole system even start? Well, it begins with the absolute foundation of a meal. Think of it like a blueprint that sets you up for success before you even pick up your chopsticks. It's all built around this really elegant concept called ichiju sansai, which means one soup, three sides. And you gotta understand, this isn't just a suggestion for what to eat. It's a whole philosophy of balance, served right there on a tray. And this is where it gets brilliant. This one principle pretty much automatically takes care of three huge health goals. First, you get built-in portion control because the bowls are small. Second, you get this automatic nutritional balance from all the variety. And third, the food is naturally low in calories thanks to cooking methods like steaming and grilling instead of frying. So what's the result of all this smart design? Well, a full, beautiful, and totally satisfying meal often comes in at just 500 to 700 calories. I mean, think about that. That's less than a single burger or a milkshake at a lot of fast food places. And it's not just the structure. The system also uses some incredibly smart food choices. Take shirataki noodles, for example. These things are like a magic trick. You swap them in for regular pasta and bam, you cut the calories by a mind-blowing 97%. It's a total game changer. Okay, so we've got the what you eat down, but the system goes deeper. Now let's talk about the how you eat. Because it's not just about the food, it's about the whole ritual around it. So there's this key practice called triangle eating. It sounds technical, but it's super simple. Instead of, plowing through your rice and then moving on to the next dish, you rotate. One bite of rice, then a sip of soup, then a bite of fish. You keep moving around the different bowls. And this one little habit, it has a massive impact. So why does that one little habit work so well? Well, there's some really powerful science behind it. It all comes down to slowing you down. And check this out. Fast eaters are 3 times more likely to be obese. Slowing down gives your brain that crucial 20 minutes it needs to actually realize you're full. And that slower pace perfectly sets the stage for another famous principle, hara, hachi, bu. This is centuries-old wisdom, and it literally just means eat until you're 80% full. But here's the absolute key, and you've got to get this. This isn't about gritting your teeth and constantly fighting the urge to eat more. It's not about self-restraint. Because that ichiju sansai meal is so varied and satisfying, you naturally start to feel full right around that 80% mark. The system is doing the heavy lifting for you. All right, let's zoom out from the dinner table. Because beyond the food and the habits, the entire culture has these kind of invisible guardrails that just naturally push you toward healthier choices. They make it the default. I mean, just look at sugar. This chart says it all. The average person in Japan eats less than half the sugar of someone in the US. And why? It's not because sugar is banned. It's just that dessert isn't a daily thing. It's a treat, something for a special occasion. And they use this amazing little brain hack with small plates. This is so smart. It does 2 things at once. First, the small plates physically hold less food, right? Obvious portion control. But second, seeing all those different little dishes on the table tricks your brain into thinking you're having this huge, lavish feast, so you feel satisfied way faster. And get this, Even the timing of meals is part of the system. In Japan, dinner is usually pretty early, like around 6:30. Now, why does that matter? Well, it's because they're usually done eating before this specific fat-storing protein in our bodies, called BMAL1, really ramps up its activity late at night.
So, the big question is, how does this whole complex system stick? How does it get passed down from one generation to the next so it just becomes second nature? Well, the answer is they start 'em young.
It all comes down to a concept called shokuiku, which basically means food education. And this isn't some afterthought or an optional class. No, this is a core part of the curriculum in elementary school. It's treated just as seriously as learning to read or do math. And they don't just talk about it in a classroom, they live it. School lunches are these incredibly designed meals that follow that Ichiju Sansai model we talked about. So kids are actively practicing things like triangle eating. They're learning where their food comes from. They're not just being told what to do, they're building these healthy habits for life. Which really brings us to this final thought, a really powerful question, actually. What if the real secret to health isn't about finding the perfect, restrictive diet to follow? What if it's about living inside a well-designed system? An environment where making the healthy choice is just the easy choice. That's a huge shift in how we think about health, isn't it?